Welcome to the world of children's videos. It's video collection special favourites for our young audience, beginning with the adventures of Thomas the Tank Engine and friends.
Hurry up, Thomas!
Life on the island of Sodor can be very busy, but the engines enjoy their work on the railway. Sometimes the adventures Thomas has with his friends land them in trouble.
Boxes and bags burst everywhere. Oh! Groaned Percy. Careful, Thomas! Called his driver, but it was too late.
Thomas came off the rails and Percy sunk.
Ow! Exclaimed Percy.
So join Thomas, Percy, James, Toby, Gordon and the Fat Controller for lots of Thomas the Tank Engine adventures. From trains to canal boats, it's that troublesome twosome Rosie and Jim. Come aboard the Ragdoll with John, Jim and of course Rosie as they cruise into all sorts of tangles. Oh no, what would John say? And they meet all sorts of creatures.
Excuse me, are you a monster? Rosie and Jim, Rosie and Jim.
Even John faces one or two problems. But it's all great fun for Rosie and Jim.
1,
2,
2,
3. Say bonjour to...
Tots TV. I'm a tot.
Je suis une tot télé.
Tub.
Tiny.
We're the tots of Tots TV.
1, 2, 3, boom.
I didn't say go. I'm a tot.
Tiny Tilly and Tom like to try fun new games and make fun new things.
1, 2, 3, boom.
I'm a tot.
Je suis une tot
Oh,
télé.
tub.
But sometimes the things they do don't go quite as planned. So join those three on Tots TV. And when it comes to mischief, there's only one place to be, with Ratty, Toad and Mole in the classic story of Wind in the Willows.
He's on the open road.
Rambling where you please on the open road.
But what happens when Toad goes too far?
He's been found guilty on the clearest evidence. 19 years.
19 years?
And another year for being green. 20 years.
And the weasels take over. Find out in the exciting adventures of the Wind in the Willows. Yes, it certainly is a children's world with so many great video stories to choose from.
Scarecrow and Pinkey had been searching everywhere for Mumfie. As they discovered the strange room for the bottles, they were listening carefully of the secretary's wicked evil plans, and the black cat listens very hard. Scarecrow and Pinkey met the Queen of Night and told her about the Cloak of Dreams. Brizzle, the prison guard, marched Mumfie and Napoleon to the room full of the Lake of Ice, and they were all skating together and the friends were reunited. Mumfie and his friends have decided what to do with the Queen's precious jewel. So as they take off into the sky, Mumfie unfortunately dropped the Queen's jewel into the sea. As they went back inside Whale, Mrs Admiral tells the story about her husband who went missing. There was worse to follow when the pirates attacked Whale and the adventurers move under the sea. Mumfie and Scarecrow had promised to find Mr Admiral as well as Whale and the Queen's Jewel, and as they discovered all the life of the adventurers under the sea, they suddenly came across a dark cave. In order to stick together and survive in this scary journey, they still have to find Mr Admiral as they enter.
Who can you rely on when the chips are down? Call on Mumfie when you need defending. Braver than a bulldog, brighter than a clown. Here comes Mumfie with the happy ending. With his faithful friend the Scarecrow, he's got dreams enough to share. So if you want adventure, this is where to start. If you need a hero who can play the part, the little pachyderm with a great big heart.
Pretending very hard not to be frightened, Mumfie and Scarecrow edged into the eerie darkness of the pirate cave.
Have you ever met any pirates, Scarecrow?
Not sea pirates. The farm I looked after was too far away from the beach.
Then, have you met any farm pirates?
Not many. I think you only get them on fish farms. Mumfie nodded, and then after a little pause, he added nervously,
Do they ever have fish farms in caves, Scarecrow?
Scarecrow was just about to suggest that perhaps this cave was a little too dark for fish farms, pirates, or anything else, when something happened.
What was that?
Before Mumfie could answer, it happened again.
I feel all crackly. Scarecrow, are my ears sticking up?
I don't know. But whatever it was, I wish it had lasted longer so we could see where we're going. Mumfie was trying hard not to slip on the wet, slimy rocks. Suddenly, he felt himself going and grabbed hold of Scarecrow. But it was too late.
This is rubbing a hole in my trousers.
Mumfie was beginning to enjoy the ride. More tatters. I hope we don't meet anyone important down here. I can't seem to keep myself respectable. By now, it was so dark that they could see nothing at all.
Ooh! Dead end. We'll have to turn back.
There was no reply.
Scarecrow? Are you all right?
Mumfie began to feel afraid.
Scarecrow? Please say something.
Mumfie saw that he was alone in the empty cave.
I think I'd like this bit of the adventure to be over now. Whatever is going to happen next? Oh, you're a fish,
said Mumfie.
I'm an eel,
said the eel.
Electric eel? You don't get electric fish in here, do you?
I don't know.
Well, I'm telling you, you don't.
And the eel crackled again.
You're very bright. Thank you. I always was bright, even as a child. Wait a bit. I'll turn myself down. No point in wasting electricity. And what are you?
I'm lost.
I mean, I've lost my friend Scarecrow. Is that the skinny fella with the sticking out hair?
Mumfie secretly thought this was an unkind but true description of his missing friend.
Have you seen him? You went one way, and he went the other. I thought you'd had an argument.
Mumfie, where are you?
That's Scarecrow.
And as quick as a flash, the eel replied,
Follow my light.
With the help of the electric eel, Mumfie and Scarecrow were soon reunited.
Now, back to business. We're looking for pirates.
can you help us find them? Don't talk to me about pirates. They got a nasty habit of sticking us electric eels in jam jars just to light up their outdoor barbecues. You couldn't fit in a jam jar. Pirates can fit us in anything they want. If they catch us, we're trying to find Mr. Admiral. We're afraid the pirates may have captured him. This way. Let's look on the bright side. And without another word, Eel set off at a crackling pace. We must be coming out on the other side. Oh, Scarecrow! Just look at this! There below them, lying in the middle of a seaweed forest, was the pirate ship, Sea Witch. What are the pirates doing? Eel giggled. Singing. Listen.
There's no escaping the buccaneers. If you're afloat, we'll find you. Should you happen to sail too near, keep on looking behind you. Without a warning, we'll be there with the guns and the fleet set. As you sink, we'll give a cheer. Sorry to get your feet wet. 'Cause we're bad, mad, dangerous, and no. All away, me hearties, with a hearty hey-ho. When we wait for Jolly Roger, you'll be quivering with fear. 'Cause you're cruising for a bruising with a buccaneer.
Now you can see what you're up against. Yes, indeed. But I'm sure we'll find the Admiral in that pirate ship, so we have to go there. Come on. That was one of the things Scarecrow liked best about Mumfie. He's not a what-ifer, he thought to himself. What-ifer was Scarecrow's name for people who would say things like, what if he's not on board the ship? Or, what if we are captured by pirates? Deep down, Scarecrow felt he was a bit of a what-ifer himself. On board the Sea Witch, Captain Davie Jones and his crew's noisy reveling grew louder and louder.
We search the ocean for pirate loot. We sail whatever the weather. With skins as tough as an old sea boot. Our face as hard as leather. We broke the sheath and our bruises nose like sophomore days or prizes. If we entered a beauty show, we wouldn't win any prizes. 'Cause we're bad, mad, dangerous, and no. All away, me hearties, with a hearty hey-ho. When we wait for Jolly Roger, you'll be quivering with fear. 'Cause you're cruising for a bruising with a buccaneer. Though we're vicious as pirates go, we're not as black as we're painted. We never tread on a lady's toe or tickle a man when he's fainted. And when again in port we lie, all evil thoughts we smother. We even put on a shirt and tie before we visit our mother. Still we're bad, mad, dangerous, and no. All away, me hearties, with a hearty hey-ho. When we wait for Jolly Roger, you'll be quivering with fear. 'Cause you're cruising for a bruising, it won't be of your choosing. Cruising for a bruising with a big, bad buccaneer.
As Mumfie, Scarecrow, and Eel crept towards the ship, Eel grew especially bright. We're very grateful for your help, but it's not very easy to creep up on anyone with you crackling so much. Sorry, but the nearer I get to these pirates, the angrier I become. Jam jars, you understand.
Of course. If anyone tried to put any of my relatives in a jam jar, I'd feel just the same way.
How well do you know the waters round here? Like the back of my hat. Why? Do you want me to shed a bit of light on something? Whale. We'd like you to find him. And Pinkey. And make sure they're both safe. If you can. 'Cause I can, flashed the eel. See you later. And she darted away. Silently, Mumfie and Scarecrow began their search. Scarecrow, there's a man in there with red hair.
I'm sure it's the Admiral. He looks just like the man in the photo that Mrs. Admiral showed to us. Mumfie started tapping on the porthole to get the man's attention. But Scarecrow was having an attack of the what-ifers.
What if it wasn't the Admiral? What if he's a pirate instead? What if he's deaf?
But the Admiral wasn't deaf. "We found him!" shouted Mumfie. "We found the Admiral!" But what happened then? We'll have to wait till next time.
Who can you rely on when the chips are down? Call on Mumfie when you need defending. Braver than a bulldog, brighter than a clown. Here comes Mumfie with the happy ending. With his faithful friend the Scarecrow, he's got dreams enough to share. So if you want adventure, this is where to start. If you need a hero who can play the part, the little pachyderm with a great big heart.
Mumfie and Scarecrow climbed aboard the pirate ship Sea Witch in their search for the Admiral.
And what do you think you're doing?
Mumfie thought he had never seen so much nastiness glaring out of one eye. He was very glad that the pirate didn't have two.
Answer my question, you dogs.
I'm not a dog. I'm an elephant. This answer confused the pirate so much that he decided to be fiercer still.
Get up that rope ladder, and let's have no more of your sauce.
I haven't given you any sauce, cheese or otherwise. This made the pirate roar even more.
1,000,001.
On deck,
1,000,000.
Captain Davie Jones was counting up the day's takings.
Who's this horrible-looking thing?
He said, glaring at Mumfie. I don't know, said Mumfie, looking at the pirate. He didn't give his name.
Not him! You!
How do you do? My name is Mumfie, and this is Scarecrow.
This is Nasty Nate, the scourge of the forecastle, and I'm the wicked Captain Davie Jones.
How do you do? Said Mumfie, bowing politely. The captain was so surprised by this, he bowed back. Scarecrow put out his hand, but the captain ignored it.
Never mind all the la-di-danis. What are you doing here?
We've been looking for the Admiral.
Admiral? You mean our washer boy, don't you?
For some reason, the pirates found all this very funny.
Oh, I don't think the Admiral's a boy. He's got a big red beard. Take these scurvy swabs to the laundry room. They're all washed up, just like the Admiral.
And he laughed a very nasty laugh of the kind pirates perfect during their years of villainy on the high seas. Meanwhile, the electric eel continued her searching for Eel and Pinkey. She was growing tired, and this made her cross with herself. Sparks flew everywhere as she explored a particularly rocky part of the seabed. At last, her patience was rewarded.
There he is. Looks like you're in a spot of trouble. Your friends will be glad I found you.
I'd be much obliged if you'd turn your lights down. I'd rather not be seen in this sorry state.
It's not your fault.
Eel took a closer look at the strong steel ropes that surrounded him.
It's those pesky pirates. And by the look of these ropes, they've certainly been up to their old tricks again. But there's one good thing about it.
What's that?
You're much too big for a jam jar. Now, good looking. I think I can get you out of this net, but I'll need a little help from my friends. I'll be back in a flash.
By now, Mumfie and Scarecrow had reached the darkest, most rat-infested corner of the ship. The Admiral wasn't at all pleased to have visitors. He scowled at Nasty Nate.
What do you want now, you lime-scappered, prawn-withered, galley-pickled sprat-brain?
Nasty Nate couldn't cope with so many insults all at once and almost burst into tears.
I brought you some helpers. And by the way, Captain Jones said that the last batch of shirts had too much starch in them. So watch it.
The Admiral turned to Mumfie.
I saw you gawping at me through the portal. What are you, friend or foe?
Oh, friend. Mrs. Admiral asked us to find you. She misses you very much.
And don't I miss the old girl?
You seem to hate washing so much. Why don't you refuse to do it?
Because if I don't, they'll kidnap my old girl and make her do it instead. There's no escaping from my fate.
Don't worry. We've come to rescue you. There must be some way out of here.
Perhaps we could, break the door down. You saw how thick it was.
Well, at least we can try. One, two, three, push!
This way, ladies.
What are you going to do?
Rescue you, of course. We're all going to line up alongside these steel ropes. In order to cut through them, we have to generate a very large amount of sparks at extremely high temperatures. And the only way we can do that is by becoming very angry indeed.
Angry? I don't understand.
Listen, and I'll explain it to you.
I'd like to demonstrate if you let me the skill all eels are said to possess. I store away the things that upset me, get me, fret me, to put to use in moments of stress. So, hey now, get out of my way now. Oh now, I'm starting to glow now. 'Cause when I list some things I hate, I start to boil and generate real eel electricity. I hate the squid with tentacles flabby. I hate those carp who always complain. Then there's this one particular Gabby crab. He grabs me and gaps till I go out of my brain. So say now, I'm brighter than day now. Look now, I'm starting to cook now. 'Cause these are favorite things produce. The recipe to make the juice. Real eel electricity. Sand and dabbling where it don't concern them. Dogfish who keep howling at the moon. Oyster beds who never change their linen. And jellyfish who won't stay on the spoon. So there now, I'm hot as a flare now. Stop now, I'm ready to pop now. I feel the power inside me grow. Save it up until I know it's almost time to let it go. The dancing like a fire show, flashing like a dynamo. I throw the switch and there's your glow. Real eel electricity.
Well done, ladies. Dismiss.
I like his eyes. She makes me all blubbery. I like his tail. I think I found Mr. Right Whale.
You'd better swim to the surface, Whale. You'll be a lot safer there.
Thank you very much. But I'm not going anywhere. Mumfie and Scarecrow may need me here.
Whale still felt very badly about the time he'd first met his friends, and then left them to make their own way to Pinky's Island.
I'll find out if they need you, but I'll have to lie down first and recharge my batteries. That's it. All done.
And Eel whizzed away as fast as she could towards the pirate ship. Mumfie, Scarecrow, and the Admiral had tried hard to open the heavy cabin door. They felt tired and depressed. Suddenly, Mumfie had an idea. What about the porthole?
Nothing can get through here except fish.
At that very moment, through the opening came Eel.
I freed Whale.
But now we're prisoners ourselves.
This is a fine kettle of fish you've got yourselves into. At least they haven't tried to stuff you in a jam jar.
Jam jar?
You're not thinking of holding an outdoor barbecue, are you?
Eel was remembering how pirates loved to jam electric eels in jam jars as fairy lights for their parties. No, of course not. Now listen. But what Mumfie told them, we'll have to wait until next time.
Who can you rely on when the chips are down? Call on Mumfie when you need defending. Braver than a bulldog, brighter than a clown. Here comes Mumfie with the happy ending. With his faithful friend the Scarecrow, he's got dreams enough to share. So if you want adventure, this is where to start. If you need a hero who can play the part, the little pachyderm with the great big heart.
Down in Davie Jones's locker, deep in the bowels of the pirate ship's Sea Witch, the captain peered through his periscope. At that moment, the wicked Secretary of Night flew into his sight with an offer the captain could not refuse.
Captain Jones, I have need of your services. If you can find the Queen's jewel of power and bring it to me, then I shall rule the land, and you the seas.
This idea appealed to the captain so much that he immediately began preparations for his search. Imprisoned elsewhere in the ship, Mumfie described his plan for escape by getting a message back to Napoleon in the Queen's palace. Scarecrow wasn't at all sure.
What if the old bird can't be found? What if the evil secretary has caught him instead? What if he can't read? Putting a message in a bottle is a fine nautical custom, but it could be years before the bottle is washed up anywhere. Not if Eel guided it to the beach.
Scarecrow wanted to make up for sounding so gloomy. What a good idea! We'll need Pinkey too. Listen. Whale was waiting patiently for news of his friends. Eel told him about Mumfie's plan.
I know all the shortcuts through these waters, and I can hide more easily than you if the pirates try to catch me. So it's best if I take the message.
Then I shall stay on guard between here and the surface.
I wouldn't want to desert my friends either.
Then Eel darted along the line of portholes in search of Pinkey. Dear Napoleon, we have been captured by underwater pirates. Here is a map of our whereabouts. Anything you can do to help would be much appreciated. Hope you are well and that this finds you as it leaves us. Kindest regards from Mumfie, Scarecrow, and the Admiral. When Eel appeared at the porthole, Mumfie thought that she was alone. Didn't you find Pinkey? Yes, of course I did. Well, where is she? I'll show you, but keep it under your hat. I know Pinkey is afraid to get her wings wet, and this way she won't get them wet at all. Everyone wished Pinkey and Eel good luck, and with a last wave of her tail, Eel was gone. No one on deck noticed her wriggling towards the surface. Only the lookout in the crow's nest saw her pass. But he just shrugged to himself and thought,
An eel with a bottle. Yet another unsolved mystery of the deep.
And went back to writing postcards home.
Now all we can do is wait, I suppose. And iron a few of these pesky pants.
We'll help,
said Mumfie.
That's what friends are for. Isn't that right, Scarecrow? I suppose so. I never had friends before.
Friendship is a circle that grows wider every day, like the ripples spreading on a pond. Throw a pebble in the water, see the circles grow. Day by day the heart becomes more fond. When the rain is falling, see the circles that it makes. Who knows where one starts or where it ends? Little waves that intermingle, kiss and then move on. That's the way it flows when you have friends. Open arms, always full of welcome. Open eyes to look out for you. Open minds, eager to believe you. Wide and wider though it grows. Friendship is a circle that never will close. If you're not so lucky and you haven't got a friend, maybe you've made circles all alone. Castle walls are made to last and keep the world away, but the heart must never be of stone. If you've built a wall around you, try to break it down. Friends begin where fear and doubting end. Like the ripples spreading if you open up your life, soon you'll feel the handshake of a friend. Open doors, ready to receive you. Open ears to enjoy your news. Open hearts, spilling out affection. Round and round the feeling goes. Friendship is a circle, on and on forever. Friendship is a circle that never will close.
Far away, above the pirate ship Sea Witch, Eel reached the surface at last.
Thank goodness. It was getting very stuffy under there. I'll lead the way now if you like. Don't go too fast. My batteries are running low again.
Summoning up all her strength, Eel began battling her way toward Pinky's island. The tide was against her, and she could feel her strength ebbing away with every stroke of her tail.
I'll have to rest for a moment. It's further than I thought. We should have used a smaller bottle.
Eel's aching jaws could hold the bottle no longer. It started to drift away. Eel was too weak to stop it. But Pinky wasn't tired at all.
Oh, well done, Pinky. But your wings are getting wet. But they still work anyway. This is fun. Tell me when you're ready.
So Eel rested against the rock and soon brightened up again.
Come on. We're nearly at the beach.
Meanwhile, Mumfie had been making further plans for escape.
How do we look?
No odder than some of the coves that work for Davie Jones. But how are we gonna get out of here?
The answer came sooner than expected. It was Nasty Nate, with more dirty washing.
Who are you?
The disguises were getting him in a muddle.
I've seen you somewheres before, haven't I?
I'm a new crew member. With orders to give the prisoner some exercise on deck.
I'd have thought all this ironing was exercise enough. But if it's captain's orders...
Scarecrow had difficulty seeing through the gap in the pirate's coat.
Hurry up, you miserable numbskull.
We're out, whispered Mumfie. Pinky and Eel reached the island at last.
Now it's up to you, Pinky. But this bottle is too heavy for you to carry. Just a minute.
Eel watched Pinky carry the message into the mist. Then she slid back into the water and started her long journey home. At first, Pinky was lost. She had found the paper trail, but she had followed it the wrong way. It brought her back to her mother's cell. Pinky longed to wake her.
Best not.
She said to herself firmly.
She'll be free soon enough, if I can get this message to Napoleon in time.
Pinky decided to trace the paper back to the place where Napoleon had last been seen. In front of her was the ice floor, but there was no sign of Napoleon. Pinky turned sadly away. Suddenly, Pinky heard something.
Napoleon!
Bristle woke up just after your bunch escaped and thought this box was the best place for me. I've been trying to pick my way out ever since.
Here's a message for you from Mumfie.
409B, 417F, 262436, hike.
It's Bristle. Time to beat a hasty retreat.
But we can't go back, and you don't have time to put on skates.
Then there's no way out. But Pinky had an idea.
Oh, yes, there is.
But what that idea might be, we'll have to wait until next time.
Who can you rely on when the chips are down? Call on Mumfie when you need defending. Braver than a bulldog, brighter than a clown. Here comes Mumfie with the happy ending. With his faithful friend the Scarecrow, he's got dreams enough to share. So if you want adventure, this is where to start. If you need a hero who can play the part, the little pachyderm with the great big heart.
Bristle will be here any minute.
Then I'm afraid we're trapped. Pinky looked at the vast ice floor of the Queen's palace.
No, we're not. You've got wings. You can fly like me.
It's impossible. I had my wings clipped long ago.
How long ago?
Oh, ages and ages ago.
Well, perhaps they've grown back again. It's your only chance.
I wonder. Napoleon stretched out first one wing, then the other.
They look pretty healthy to me, and I don't think I can fly back to find Whale all by myself.
Well, if you're willing to risk it...
Oh. I'll risk it,
cried Pinky. And the next moment, they were up and away. Napoleon's wings were a little stiff after months of disuse, but they were soon working perfectly.
Try, only try. If you take a chance, then chances are you'll fly. Don't look down, by and by you'll find beyond the clouds that lie ahead a safer world awaits your eye. So spread your wings, ride the sky. Let the breezes that surround you lift you high. Now at last you can see why everyone ought to be free, free as air.
let's hope we can spot Whale soon.
Pinky sniffed the air, but all she could smell was the salt from the sea below.
I'll just have to do my best to remember. I think we should head in the direction of those waves over there. And I'll tell you all about the pirates as we go. Look! There he is!
On board the Sea Witch, a pirate was swabbing the deck as a punishment for not eating up all his breakfast. Nasty Nate stepped out on the deck. He still did not realize that the pirate escorting the Admiral was really Mumfie and Scarecrow in disguise. Not much room to exercise here, said Mumfie hopefully. We'll just take him for a run round the boat instead.
Are you sure this is according to Captain's orders?
Why don't you ask him?
Ask him what?
It was Captain Davie Jones himself. He stared at the mysterious pirate.
Who's this?
I don't know, but his face is very familiar.
His coat's even more familiar. It's mine.
Unfortunately, Mumfie had chosen Captain Jones's favorite outfit.
Take it off, you scurvy dog.
All right, but you're going to get an awful shock. Oh! Something bright was shining out of the captain's pocket. Mumfie was amazed. It's the Queen's jewel, he thought to himself. The captain's got the Queen's jewel.
It's them stowaways.
The captain prepared to strike, but the Admiral was too quick for him. I've got it!
After them!
Hey, where did they go? Get him!
By the time the pirates had recovered, Mumfie and the others had reached the forest of seaweed and were running for their lives. Captain Jones searched into the seaweed forest, but it was the lookout who spotted the runaways.
There they go, Captain. 20 degrees north by northwest.
Action stations!
Roared the captain and raced to the wheel.
Our quarry's gone. Put out more sail. The chase is on. To find their trail. We're underway. They can't be far. What did I say? Look, look, there they are. The runaways are dead ahead, and though they're moving at a lick, our boat is moving faster, so we'll overtake them pretty quick. It won't take long to ring the bell to signify that all is well. The Admiral and chums will soon be safely back inside a cell.
We're out of breath, but do our best. We're scared to death, no time to rest. In all this weed, we're slow as snails. Put on some speed, they're on our tails. We're running faster than we run, our legs grow numb, they feel like logs. We turn around and oh my gosh, they're at our heels with tractor dogs. Our pace increases, yet I fear they're closing in. The end is near. If only we could wave a wand and somehow make us disappear.
Our quarry's gone. Put out more sail.
Do our best.
The chase is on.
We're scared to death.
We found the trail.
Time to rest.
We're on our way.
In all this weed,
They can't be far.
We're slow as snails.
What did I say?
Put on some speed.
Look, there they are.
They're on our tails.
The chase is coming to an end. We're slowing down and soon they'll stop. They're very tired and out of breath. At any moment they must drop. They should be made of stern stuff to win the race. You must be tough. They did their best, but sad to say their best just wasn't good enough.
Now we've got you. Hardy, har, har. Ha, ha, ha. Now you're in.
The sea witch grew closer and closer. All was surely lost. But it wasn't. The net that had once held Whale to the seabed suddenly fell from above, trapping the pirates like angry wasps. And there was Eel and all her helpers, making sure the net was securely in place.
Well done, ladies. A first-class job.
It's Whale! Then through the portholes, they caught sight of Pinkey and Napoleon Jones.
Come now, my friends, and climb aboard.
Whale was so busy making sure the net around the sea witch was good and tight that he didn't see Davie Jones making his escape. Napoleon addressed the pirates.
In the name of Her Majesty, Queen of Night, I order you to sail the 7 seas for 7 friendless years.
What if they get lonely?
Scarecrow remembered very well what it was like to be friendless.
And if you get lonely and are really sorry for all your wrongdoings, then you'll be given a very nice job looking after the canoes on the Royal Boating Pond. And the Admiral here will take charge of your fine ship, the Sea Witch.
If you'd like to go below, sir, I think you'll find someone waiting for you.
Who is it?
I think I can guess. The admirals were so pleased to see each other that they couldn't say a word and just hugged all the way home. The sea anemones looked prettier and brighter than ever before. Mumfie suddenly thought of his own empty home and felt rather sad. Would you come and see me someday? I've plenty of room.
Lord love you. Of course we will. We were just saying how much we miss our holidays up there. It gets so wet on the seabed in winter.
Before parting, the Admiral gave Mumfie and Scarecrow each a present as a token of his gratitude. Now we really must be going. We still have very important work to do on Pinkey's Island. And with a last goodbye, Whale sped back up towards the surface. I fear the Secretary must know we have the Queen's jewel. His anger will soon destroy everything in his sight, including the island. Her Majesty is in great danger. So is Pinkey's mother, whispered Mumfie. There's no time to lose. But what happens next, we'll have to wait until next time.
Who can you rely on when the chips are down? Call on Mumfie when you need defending. Braver than a bulldog, brighter than a clown. Here comes Mumfie with the happy ending. With his faithful friend the Scarecrow, he's got dreams enough to share. So if you want adventure, this is where to start. If you need a hero who can play the part, the little pachyderm with a great big heart.
The four friends shivered as they watched the storm clouds gathering over Pinkey's Island. We must get the Queen's jewel back to her. I'd better carry Pinkey to the island. She's done more than enough flying on her own for one day. There's not enough room for all of us on your back, Napoleon. We'll have to use the Queen's umbrella and hope its magic works again. And it did!
Someone must be punished for all this carelessness. The rule book covers everything.
Rule, 203C, 204D,
Well, which one is it?
this one, Rule 210P. Escaping is absolutely forbidden. If any prisoner escapes, it will be the fault of the head jailer, whose name is Bristle, who will receive the Secretary's worst punishment he can possibly think of. Oh.
Useless fools! I shall find the little elephant myself. He must be destroyed, and then the jewel will be mine.
The cat knew that she must do whatever she could to save Mumfie. They flew over mountains and forests.
There they are.
Mumfie was trying very hard to make sure the Queen's jewel stayed safely in his pocket. The umbrella was flying lower and lower.
Jump. My magic will keep you safe. Jump, and your bravery will be rewarded.
Mumfie looked at the cat for a moment and suddenly felt strangely comforted. So he jumped.
Mumfie!
When Mumfie recovered, he saw that he was sitting in a dewy meadow. He picked himself up and turned to see a familiar figure. It was Davie Jones, the pirate captain. And he was washing the tattoos off his arms. They're not real tattoos.
That's 'cause I was never a real pirate. I just got the lads together 'cause I was lonely. And when I was lonely, I was bored. And when I was bored, I got up to mischief.
That's no excuse. There's a lot of other things you could have done.
Not when you haven't got much imagination, there isn't.
Everyone has imagination. You just have to know how to use it.
When you're sad and alone, with nothing to do, there's a door in your mind you can open and go through. Worlds of wonder lie behind it. Close your eyes and you will find it. Friendly faces, fun and laughter you will find when you wander through the meadows of your mind. Everything you ever saw or heard about or read is waiting there to share with you the world inside your head. So you're never alone. There's lots you can do. On the far side of that door, you can make your dreams come true. It's a fabulous creation made from your imagination. There's no limit to the magic you can find when you wander through the meadows of your mind.
Well, what are you imagining?
I'm back at sea, with the waves rolling under the deck, and the stars dancing overhead. But who'd ever trust or hire me to go sailing again with my reputation?
I would, cried Mumfie, and handed Davie Jones the penny he'd been carrying in his pocket since ever he left home. Take this lucky penny and report for duty immediately.
What's the job, and what's the boat?
Deck steward on board the good ship Whale.
The same whale what we trussed up like a sea chicken? He'll never forgive me for that.
Whale has got an awfully big heart. Why don't you go and ask him? Davie Jones tossed the penny in the air.
Heads I does, tails I doesn't. I does!
The sea is in that direction.
I know. I can smell it.
I dare say you could do with some company yourself. What do you want now? I'm here to help. I've been trying to do that since we met. Mumfie decided he had no choice but to believe her. I'm afraid the secretary caught Napoleon. But your friends Scarecrow and Pinkey escaped. They're hidden in the palace. Come on. I'll take you back there. A huge gust of wind blew the cat high into the air. And don't dawdle. It's way past my tea time. I wish we could hurry up and find Scarecrow.
Well, if it isn't the horrible little elephant, you're just in time. The secretary wants to meet you. Give me the Queen's jewel. Quickly.
Reluctantly, Mumfie did so.
Ah, the little elephant. Where is the jewel?
It must be awfully tiring being so angry all the time.
What?
Don't you ever smile?
Name.
Yes.
What do you mean, yes?
Yes, I've got one.
Then what is it?
Mumfie.
Occupation.
Elephant, said Mumfie, not knowing what occupation meant.
Don't you mean spy?
No?
Liar.
I don't tell lies. And anyone who says I do is a liar himself.
Take him to the holding cell and give him no food or water till he tells us where the jewel is. That'll make him change his tune.
I know lots of tunes. And Mumfie started to whistle a particularly cheery one. The secretary took hold of Mumfie's trunk and squeezed. But elephants don't whistle through their trunks. So Mumfie was able to go on whistling, even though his eyes were watering.
Breaking the rules and whistling never did no one no good, no how.
Bristle was secretly jealous because he'd never learned to whistle himself. The hours passed, and Mumfie grew colder and colder. Someone tall and thin, with sticking out hair, stood in the doorway. Scarecrow! Before they could say any more, Pinky flew round the corner.
Quickly! I found Napoleon! This way!
But what happens then, we'll have to wait until next time.
Who can you rely on when the chips are down? Call on Mumfie when you need defending. Braver than a bulldog, brighter than a clown. Here comes Mumfie with the happy ending. With his faithful friend the Scarecrow, he's got dreams enough to share. So if you want adventure, this is where to start. If you need a hero who can play the part, the little pachyderm with a great big heart.
Mumfie and Scarecrow followed Pinky as she flew up the winding staircase of the Queen's palace. I'm glad you found Napoleon. But we've still got to find the Queen's magic cloak if we are to stop the Secretary's evil ways.
The Queen gave us a very good description of her cloak.
It's big enough to cover all the world and small enough to fit inside a thimble. Napoleon's in there.
But Napoleon was nowhere to be seen.
Shh! There's somebody coming!
Mumfie was already trying to push over one of the cabinets to block the door. Oh, I say, when you decide to rescue someone, you don't waste any time, do you?
There's no way to open this window!
Then we'll just have to break the glass.
Scarecrow picked up a heavy paperweight and put it in his hat.
Everyone, stand back.
Look, there's something in the paperweight. Scarecrow lifted out a small silver thimble.
And what's inside this thimble? It's swirling and very mysterious.
It's the Queen of Knight's magic cloak. You found it. That's an awfully long jump, and Napoleon will never be able to carry us all.
Don't worry, I can look after myself.
And I think I can come up to size. This is even better than skating. The Secretary's following us.
Give it back.
The Secretary's horrible hissing echoed all around them. Got to take evasive action. Hang on tight.
muffled silence, they heard the swish of the secretary's cloak. At last, Napoleon felt it was safe to start moving again. The secretary was nowhere to be seen, but neither was Pinkey.
I hope she's all right.
I recognize this place. It's the Queen of Night's garden.
A fortunate piece of navigation. You find Her Majesty, I'll search for Pinkey.
She looks so sad.
We think this thimble may hold your magic cloak of dreams, Your Majesty.
Indeed, it does.
It's Pinkey!
What?
The cloak rose out of the thimble in a cloud of sparkling mist, full of wonderful colors and shapes. It wrapped itself around the secretary like a snake until he was completely out of sight. The Queen held out the thimble again, and there, in place of the secretary, was a large, empty stone inkwell. Gosh, that really is a magic cloak.
And thank you for its return.
Now, will you set my mother free, please?
Free them all.
Again, the cloak of dreams flew into the air, swirling into a great cloud that sped off towards the dungeons. Next day, when laughter and music had returned to the island, the Queen held a special party in her garden.
Look out, Your Majesty.
It's all right. I've seen the error of my ways. The only orders I'll follow now are Her Majesty's. Shall I do the honors now, Your Majesty?
Please. You have been trusting, kind, and courageous. And you have brought peace and happiness back to this island.
I'm still very sorry I lost your jewel, Your Majesty.
Mumfie, why don't you look in your pocket? You may keep it, Mumfie.
But it's a treasure beyond price.
So it is, for those who receive it. You should get ready to go home now, Mumfie.
There's Whale. But who's that with him?
I know who it is. It's Davie Jones, and he's polishing the portholes as bright as a new penny. Whale is making his wish come true. Will you keep me company always, Scarecrow? We can have lots more adventures.
As long as I can visit my field sometime.
Of course you can. But I shall miss everyone, won't you? It would be nice to have someone to come home to.
Home. Everybody has a place they think of. Home, though it may be long ago. Roam all around a world that's full of strangers. There's always one place you'll know. There, waiting for you in the open doorway. There, like a dear familiar song. Stare into yesterday to find that someone you've been missing so long. Someone who can fill a room with jars of sunlight. Someone, not just anyone will do, but someone who can make a place you've never been to feel like home.
more than just me, Mumfie. You were all alone, and then you met me, and Whale, and Pinkey, and the Admirals, and Eel, and so many others.
Yes, I am lucky. Every one of my friends is that special someone.
Someone with a loving heart that beats like your heart. Someone with a smile that makes your smile grow wider. Someone who can make a place you've never been to feel like home. And that someone is you.
We're nearly home now. So, did you bring back something? Yes, I did. I brought the tree a present. Why don't you take a look?
Mumfie! Scarecrow!
It's the Admirals!
Listen. I can hear all the birds singing.
And bees humming, and children's laughter.
Oh, yes. Of course.
And what happens next, well, what do you think?